Go. What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Brady and Tom from Variety 3 with episode 4 of the Tom Brady podcast. And we got to address the elephant in the room. Pointed over here, we have a special guest for the first time ever, Josh from Variety 3. How are you doing?
You know what? It's a great time currently on the channel, and it's great to be on the podcast alone, but also being the first guest.
For sure,
So,
yeah.
It's good to have you,
We
man.
figured that for episode 4, you've had enough of us for 1, 2, and 3, so we decided to spice things up a little bit. And that's why we got Josh on here because
Yes,
me and
sir.
Tom are stale, and at the end of the day, we
That's
need people to
facts, dude.
carry us.
That is very true,
I
man.
mean,
So we are
hey,
recording this currently on a Monday night. It is 3 a.m. and we said, hey, night is kind of our time.
That's facts, man.
So again, how's everybody doing here? Like another day cooped up in the house. Anyone been doing anything different as of recently?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty excited. I get my driver's license pretty freaking soon. Can I real quick just say thank you guys so much for all of the support on the first couple episodes of the podcast, by the
For
way.
real.
Episode 1 is
Holy
our
crap.
most popular video by far. It's fucking amazing. So thank you guys so much for that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And with that said, y'all already know what to do for this one. Make sure to run it up. Make sure to sub, share, comment down below. Y'all already know what's going on today. So
hell
with
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So with that said, summer of 2020 is coming up, and we have to come to the conclusion that we need money.
facts.
So we're gonna need to be working this summer, and we're gonna need to be getting some jobs to put that money in our pocket to improve our quality of content to all of you guys. So with that, any crazy work stories that you've had from past experiences
Got
to
you.
prepare you for this summer,
Yeah.
drop them right now.
Okay.
Let's hear 'em.
Josh, you got any first?
Um, well, see, I've had like an actual like defined certain time to go. I've had like a job doing that, and it was actually pretty normal. It was working under my stepfather who owned a construction company. It wasn't like anything crazy. Nothing crazy happened there. However, I live in a neighborhood, and there was a neighbor of mine, and she's kind of old. She didn't really understand tech, so I came in. I offered to help. It was only I didn't charge her much. I charged like $10 to fix whatever it may be. Um, so it goes in. She just the classical bandware and malware and the whole 9 yards. I got it cleared and got a AVG, I think it was, for antivirus, and everything was fine. And then she calls me over like a week later and is like, "Hey, something's wrong with the computer." And so I came over and no clue how it happened. There's like this crack throughout the screen, and
What'd you
and I'm
do?
sitting there and I'm like,
She
"Well,
was
obviously I
raising
didn't do this because it
solitary.
wasn't like this when I left." So I'm looking at the screen and it's definitely some sort of weird crack. And as I'm moving, it's like a bulky monitor. As I'm moving to the back, I feel something in there. It moved, like something
All right.
moved. And I'm like, what the hell? There's this like little port to open it, and I open it, and dude, just a fucking rat through
Oh
it.
my god, there
Oh,
was a rat in the
Apparently,
computer.
hell
yeah,
no.
apparently there was a little like hole under it, and the rat had climbed onto the table and went up in it,
Oh
and
my god.
Oh,
pulled on something and yanked it to the point where it cracked the screen.
jeez.
So
And
was it just like chilling in the
Wait.
computer?
yeah, it
If
was
that was
just
a
hanging
s-
out.
that
Oh
doesn't.
my god.
How did that rat not die? It must have been like
Talking about a mobile PC, am I right?
All right,
Oh my
she
god.
we freaked out, and the rat went flying, and eventually I got it caught. It was I grabbed a broom and I just basically smacked around, and
Oh my
we had to
homies
put
hate
it
that rat.
out of its misery.
Right.
God, I don't think I've ever been more scared in that moment of just because the panel was like right like this far
Oh,
away from
okay.
my face, so I
Damn, holy
opened
shit.
it, and all of a sudden it just goes like right past my face.
Jeez.
Okay. Did you
Wait.
get like any promotion because of that? Like, hey, like
The
rat
rat
fee like
save the
20
rat
bucks more.
insurance. Yeah.
Exactly.
She couldn't pay me on the spot, but she said she was gonna pay me 20, and then when I went to go collect it like 2 days later, she actually paid me 50.
Ooh,
Nice.
okay.
Okay. I feel like
Yeah,
that's fair.
so
That's
she was
fair.
like, "I'm sorry," and I'm like, "No, you're fine."
I mean, it
Possible
wasn't your
rat
fault.
disease.
Right. Right. You could be
Yeah,
infected. That's not the vibe.
for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. Yeah, dude.
Um,
Speaking of rabies, oh my god, I've had some close calls. Like I was at a camp, right?
Oh,
And
I
then we
heard
got a
about
big
this.
ass bat fly through the basement, so everyone's gotta go and get rabies shots. But because I was awake the entire time, I didn't have to get them. So when I went back to the house, I go in the attic, and lo and behold, this big ass bat just comes flying, and I get a bite. So now I gotta get all the shots right after everyone did. So I got
Jesus.
clowned on by my
That's
entire camp session.
tough, dude. That's mad
Jesus.
tough, dude. Shit.
But
dog.
Tom, what stories do you got
See,
from work or anything
I've got
involving
like a-
rodents?
Maybe I don't think I have anything involving rodents that I can think of. Maybe, but but like a worse. I've got like a few that are like some are like wholesome and some are really not. The one that's like I've got like two basically. This first one was really like this is like the wholesome one because like there was this lady, right? She like did her order, like you could hear the kids in the back of her car, like little young kids, right? She pulls up to the window, right? I worked at a McDonald's, by the way, so if any of you worked at a McDonald's, you
you're
know
that
the
guy.
struggle. I was the guy in the first window that you would pull up to. I was taking orders, I was doing everything. And so she pulls up and she looks fucking exhausted. Like she's about to like pass out from tiredness. Like in her little Honda Odyssey fucking old van or whatever. And she just looks exhausted and tired. She just wants to get this food for her kids and go home. And she's looking around, she can't find her wallet. And she's like freaking out because she's like, I've had the shittiest day. I'm just trying to go home. Like it pretty much is what she said. And I was
Right.
like, you know what, I got you. I paid for her food out of my own pocket, you know,
Ooh.
said, you know, saw me, forget about it. Dude, I've been here since literally 7 in the morning and it's like almost 4. I've been working an hour later than I'm legally allowed to because of how swamped we've been. So I know the struggle. You go home, get your food, take a nap, do whatever. You got this. And she came back like a few days later and she like paid me back and then a little bit more. So like that was all good. But like
Hey.
that's like my good story from that. And then I got one kind of sus. Actually, I have a couple of sus stories. One's really short.
Sus.
One's really fucking short. This guy pulled up to the drive-thru, right? Like he had done his normal order. He paid me normally, but my man's had a literal like fucking Glock just riding shotgun with him,
Oh my God.
like just out in the open. I was like, I literally like froze. I'm thinking this guy's about to literally rob me right now. Like he didn't.
Holy
It
shit.
was just sitting there, but like a straight up just pistol just sitting on his front seat, completely like it was loaded. I could see the clips and stuff. I was freaking out. So that is one.
Jeez.
And then the last one is like the actually like worst one. I wasn't really a big part of it, but I could hear it all happening. And so this guy comes through the drive-thru again. I pretty much always did drive-thru because that's was what I was really good at. So like this guy came in, there was a little bit of confusion about the order, so he was a little bit rude to me, but like whatever, that's fine. I can take it, you know. And
Right.
he comes to the second window, and my friend, his name's Eric. I've mentioned him before, by the way. He streams on Twitch, so his link will be in the description. Bring him up. He's using my capture card right now, so like run him up. He deserves all the love in the world. He's a god. Anyway, he's a manager, right? So the guy pulls up and they give him his food, and he's like, "Yo, man, I'm missing something or whatever." And he's like, "Okay, I'm sorry. What can I do for you, right?" Or like something was wrong. I don't know what it was, but so Eric was like being really nice. He was like, "You know, what can I do for you, man? I can like get this redone for you or whatever." And this guy like literally gets out of his car in like anger and like is standing like trying to fight Eric
Ooh.
for no fucking reason. Like the fries were cold or something.
Jesus.
Like legitimately, like it was just because the fries weren't fresh. Like that's literally it. And this
God.
man was like getting all of it.
Oh, the
I'm like,
fucking McDonald's fries.
Eric is like he's taller than me, but like he's really scrawny. Like he basically
Oh.
is like Brady, where he's like tall and really scrawny, you know. And this guy was like big and
Thank you.
like, you know, like
Ooh,
he could mix pretty much anyone.
Mhm.
Like straight up, and I was like, oh, like I could hear it, and I could like he was mad, and like and Eric kind of like stands back and he like gives him the fresh fries, and he's like, if you ever do that again, I will call the police on you, and you will never
Oh my God.
come back to the store again. I haven't seen that guy's face since, but like my man's Eric was
Ooh.
shook because like he thought he was about to die, dude. I was like, I'm not about
Right.
to, I'm not about to,
Damn,
I'm
yeah.
not about to get deceased at a McDonald's. At 15.
And like also like imagine getting popped because of fucking cold French fries.
Exactly, dude.
Like
That was.
Imagine your death point, like your grandchildren in the future. They're like, "Oh, where did Grandpa die?" And it's like, huh, you see that McDonald's window right
He
there,
got decked so hard his neck
right
shattered.
behind it.
He got
It's like,
garroted.
so speaking
Jesus.
of fights anyway, so I worked as an umpire like for baseball games. Like I pick up baseball games like on the side, like I ump them like 9, 10-year-olds, 11, 12-year-olds. Like it's generally a pretty cool time. Like I go in, hour and a half, go out, get paid quite a bit, and it's fun. So I walk into a 9, 10-year-old game, everything's like somewhat normal, right? Like I'll get ready to like ump it, and there's this one kid that I just see like he's like the typical like you can tell he's the coach's kid because like he's got like decked up arms, he's got like the wristbands, he's got like that cool geeked out helmet, and he like had the long wavy hair, and like to be honest, he just kind of looked like an asshole, right?
Oh, my
And you
homies
can
hate
tell
that
like
kid.
he'd been watching the major leagues. So yeah, I didn't really like that kid in the 1st place. And then like the other team, they had like a kid that was like a really kind of like nerdish kid, except that man had an arm that was a freaking cannon. Like mans could throw like really hard. And so like they have a close game, right? And apparently these kids have been watching the major leagues a lot. So like it's kind of like down to the last inning, like they're up. And then like man's with like the rocket is on the hill. Dude, man just runs back, chucks it at the kid, like while he's hitting. So he fucking hit the kid. And normally, like, they just walk to first base, but the coach's kid was not having it. Like, he threw down the bat and ran out to charge the mound. So there were 2 fucking 10-year-olds just boxing on the mound. And the other people in the field had no idea what to do. So they just got to sit there. And I didn't know what to do for a second. So I just wanted to sit back and watch
I
these
wanted to pull
10-year-olds
out the phone
box.
and be like, "World Star this." Shit."
Exactly. But then I realized, oh shit, I'm the umpire. I need to do something about
Oh
this,
God,
right?
it's my responsibility.
It's my job. Yeah.
Yeah, so then I like book it out to the hill. I gotta freaking what is it? Then I gotta like take them, like I literally have to physically drag one kid off the other one. And then the thing is, when you're like ejecting people as an umpire, you have to like get their parents out, you have to get you out, then you have to go out, you gotta get your manager, like you gotta get the boss. Like my boss doesn't want me to eject people the majority of the time because like that means that he has to do all the paperwork and he needs to escort them out. But like the other people had seen it, so like obviously I had to.
Right.
And
Right.
so like ejecting people is a rare feat, but I had to eject both of their entire families because once one kid leaves, the parents have to leave too because like they gotta take the kid home. So it was just a whole mess, and I got paid a little extra for the game, like by the kid's parents, which was nice because like they were like, hey, like we shouldn't have made your kid do this. But like that experience was like one of the best and worst experiences I've ever had
As an umpire.
because any opportunity to watch people fight, let alone like 2 like really smug 10-year-olds that are pissed off over baseball. But then like I had to like actually resolve the entire thing. And I think I de-escalated it all right. Like my boss wasn't happy because like kind of like reputation of
The
the league a little
paperwork.
bit. Exactly, yeah, the damn paperwork. But I mean, yeah, that's probably the craziest work story I've ever had to. Except for like parents that just get pissed off you and then you just gotta hush them up. And
Yeah.
at one point, I just want to say like that's like the fucking rules of the game. Your kid is shit, and you shouldn't be talking. Like I swear, the kids with the loudest parents, the louder your parent is, the shittier your kid is at the game. Like if your
Oh,
parent is
yeah.
a heckler, yeah, your kid's shit.
You know,
Okay.
I think the worst ones, because I had a cousin who was in a little league, and I don't think it was anything big. It was just a school, but I was there on like a family trip, and I watched it, and I was there, and this other kid, I don't remember. Wait, his name was Jake. I remember that. I won't say the last name, but their parents were, yelling and screaming, you got to do this, you got to do this. Kid failed once. I mean, not even like the kid didn't want to be there.
Mhm.
It was like the family forced it. Kid failed once. He tripped right before the base, and then he got out. And the parents, I taught you better. You were doing perfectly just the other day. And I'm like, dude, not only are you gonna yell at your kid, but you're also gonna tell them how horrible they are after they mess up.
Yeah,
That's an
yeah.
accident.
Mhm.
God.
Talk
The
about shitty
worst,
parenting.
like when I'm umpiring games, is like when the kid so obviously doesn't want to be there, and the parents just like take them. They're like, it's clear that like they'd rather be at home playing Fortnite, and they're only here because our parents signed them up for this baseball league. Because then it's
Right.
like as an umpire, like I like umping fun games like as much as I can. So like when the kids are trying, like it gives me like an incentive to like be better at my job because like the kids are trying, they care about the game. But if the kids like dick around and make sandcastles on third base, then like it's just not fun to work. And I
That
mean,
actually
granted, I get paid. Oh yeah, kids love to make the bases like are the biggest sandcastle spots for kids. Like in like if like I used to do T-ball leagues back when I was like 13, 14 because like those are like the entry level games I had to do. If
Right.
there wasn't like a sandcastle on a base, then
There
like the
was
kid
gonna
was
be
doing
one.
something wrong. Every game, there's
Right.
always that one kid who makes it his mission to cover every single base in sand, because like
Yeah.
that's all they want to
What a
do.
lad.
It's like me covering up the beds in Bed Wars, which you will see later on Brady's video. Great,
Oh, y'all
great
did Bed
video.
Wars with them?
Josh
Yeah.
turns every single game into a build battle. Swear to God.
Bro, I had this like, it was like an 8 by probably 10 like block, just completely
Fucking
filled
wall.
to protect the bed.
Jesus.
The
It
only
was the
issue
best
is
thing ever.
once somebody breaks the first layer, they build it back up, and then they just go however much
They're
they
gone.
want to
They're hidden.
go. Yep.
Damn.
So yeah, we learned that the hard way, but it was
Yeah.
fun.
Fair.
Dude, but I swear, umpiring is like one of my favorite jobs I've ever had because like people are like generally like you meet some of like the coolest people you've ever met because like they're like the kids who like you want to help get better, and it's also like the games are short and you get paid quite a bit. Like this summer, like once all this shit is done with and like society moves forward, so probably next summer, I could start theoretically umping like high school level freshman games
Right.
because
Nice.
I would be out of high school. Yeah, so
Right.
I'd be able to like umpire like the lower level freshman games, and also because I've been umpiring since I was 13, like that's a big advantage for me compared to the other people because like the
Right.
majority of people don't start till like 15, 16. I've been doing this shit since I was 13. I got out of the league and then started umpiring for it immediately.
Right.
Nice.
Also, the fights at high school were probably a lot
Way better.
neater to watch
Facts.
until you have to break
Well,
it
I
up.
mean, like to be honest, like the
Right.
majority of the time, like there isn't a fight because like the
Yeah.
kid get hit, they move to first base. But like it was just like the cocky ass kid. Like he had just watched a Major League Baseball game. Like the cool thing to do when you get hit is to charge the mound. So that's what he did. Except normally like the infield comes like like they drag the kids off. The infield like when I was there, they just stood there like they didn't know what to do. So they just let the kids go at it at the pitcher's mound.
Damn.
The
And I mean,
infield's just
obviously-
sitting there like, he's fast.
Hey man.
Oh,
hey,
he
hey,
got
nice right
hands.
hook. Yeah.
And then like the coaches are obviously like running out, but like I have to be the
Yeah.
first one there. Yeah.
Right.
And then like I mean, and I think the pitcher was the coach's kid too, because like there weren't any parents like running out. So I think they were both the coach's kids. Like maybe they had some beef or something. But I don't know.
East versus
Like
West. Coach
as
kid battle.
much beef as fucking 10-year-old little league rec league baseball has.
Dude.
So
They got some.
It's a cereal that morning. They're
Yeah.
pissed.
Right.
You're like,
yeah.
"Ah."
dude,
fuck.
those games can get intense though. Like when like I'm umpiring like the quote championship tournament games, like those games, those things can get pretty wild. And wild isn't good. Like the kids get really competitive. And like I
Yeah.
remember like when I played in that league, like winning that was like a really big deal and like made my summer. So like I wanted to work and win.
Well, if everybody's giving 100%, it feels like you're giving 200
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something like that.
True. Yeah.
And so, I mean, we won it
Okay.
a couple times, and it was like some of the best feelings me and my dad have ever had. Wholesome shit, because my dad was my coach, and like we wanted to win together. So
Right.
that was probably some of the best moments of my childhood, like that I've ever
That's
had.
fair. Yeah. I think the only
Yeah.
thing that's closest to be like almost fighting people, or like, is when I'm at weeklies, which has happened. This has happened a fair few times actually. I've gone to.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I know.
like
what
you
you're talking
haven't been to all of them. There were a fair few of them that I used to. Just go
about. I know.
through by
I've been to
myself.
I've been to
Yeah, you did a
enough of
few.
them though, to where like I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right, but like there
Weeklies,
were-
by the way, for context, are Smash Bros tournaments that happen every Friday in our local community.
Right. Well, not right now, but yes. Normally,
Well,
yes.
yeah.
Which they're really fun, by the way. The guy who hosted Brian is an absolute G, like absolute god. By the way, if he ever sees this video, I love you, man. Keep up the good work. Anyway, basically, this was back in like Smash 4, too. So like there are lots of stories of people get mad. There was this kid, this guy that was like doing pretty well in Smash 4. Like he was making his way up the seedings and like he was doing really well.
What do you mean?
I think he was a ZSS player or Ziosu Tamus.
Okay.
And
that's
ZSS back in
respectable.
Smash 4 was pretty nasty. Not like the greatest
Yeah.
player in the game, but like pretty much top tier, essentially.
As long as he didn't min bail.
Facts. I mean, I think this was before Bayo came out. This was like early Smash.
Oh,
4.
okay.
So, like,
Okay. Yeah.
Like this kid was climbing up the ranks. ZSS pretty much is the best matchup against pretty much any character is a good ZSS player. Like you don't lose if you play ZSS really well. And this guy was just
Yeah.
going through shitting on everybody, but he was really annoying about it. Like there's a difference between
Ooh.
shitting on everybody and like being like, hey man, good game, you played really well, GG, all that, and then being
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
haha, get shit on, like he was the type of guy
Yeah.
to say haha, get shit on, like even if it was like a
If you're doing it unironically too, like
I
Just
at first
shouldn't do
when I did it, I think he was playing against like one of his friends, and he like beat his friend, and he was like, "Haha, get shit on," like in the joking way, which is like completely different, But like playing an opponent that you don't know on a personal level, and you say, "Haha, get shit on," that's like a really dick thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In anything.
like me.
Here, if you
Yeah, me considering myself like a shit talker at the game, like Tom can vouch for me. Like
But
I
it's
will
funny.
talk
But
like
like
the
you're not
most
like
shit.
personal
Yeah,
about it. You're not a dick. It's
but
funny.
like I'm not an asshole about it. Like, well, because
Yeah.
like, when I win, I'm like, haha, like GG's, bro. And then when I lose, I'm like, haha, I just got shit on. Holy
Exactly.
shit.
He's the one saying
But-
like there's
Yeah.
a difference between haha get shit on and haha I just got shit on, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like this guy,
There,
it's not
at
even,
the
go for it.
at the end of any sort of game like that's competitive or multiplayer, it should be able to end with a GG, a handshake, whatever it may be.
Like even if
You
you're
know,
salty,
if
like,
it's-
just say GG
Keep in
and
mind,
you're
in the
done.
Smash community, however, handshakes are pretty hard to get off because it's always
It's
a,
always-
Yeah.
ooh, and then
so-
they look like they're playing like rock paper scissors deluxe over here. Like you got no idea what they're throwing
Facts,
out.
yeah. I always go for the fist bump, but like I always make sure I throw it out like
Yeah.
early so that they can see it first. Anyway, but
So next
Right.
time I play you, I'm going to grab your fist.
anyway, so this guy would get
We're just making a point to go for a
he would just
handshake.
get more and more like loud and aggressive, and like he made it out of winners. I was still in winners. I hadn't played him yet because I was like nasty at Smash 4. Like people are way better at Ultimate than they were in Smash 4, but like because just less people played Smash 4. But like I was pretty good. Like even though Link was pretty much like C or D tier in that game, like he was not good in that game. I still managed to keep myself afloat with him.
Okay.
And so, like, you know, I was the best player in Smash 4 in my age range, like straight up. It wasn't even close, you know, like humble brag. But
Well, because I
seriously,
hadn't started playing yet.
right? Because you're
No,
the
I'm
best.
just- I'm
Right?
just playing.
He's goated.
I'm just
Right?
playing.
And this guy, like the Wii U Pro Controller looks pretty much just like a Switch Pro Controller. So like he'd be like he would play like this, like where he's like got his hands like his face is like. And I was like, how the fuck can you play like that? Because I play like a normal person. Like at the highest my controller is at, it's like here, but it's usually just in my lap like
Yeah.
a normal person. Right?
right
Yeah, behind the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
out over here, one-handed.
Joy-Cons,
One-handed,
yeah,
you just throw
Joy-Cons.
it to the other
Just
hand.
have Joy-Cons. Have Joy-Cons. Just play like this, you know. Anyway.
Oh, imagine Smash with motion controls. Hold up. Like Smash with Joy-Con motion controls. Like forward Smash.
F Smash.
You know how many accidental
Accidental.
hits that would have?
How
You
many
know
people
how
would
amazing
actually
that
get
would be,
decked, though? How many TVs would
You
be
just start
destroyed?
into an actual like underground fighting ring.
Imagine combining. All right, hear me out. You combine Smash Bros and Just Dance. That would be beautiful, cause like you gotta like move to like fucking music while you're beating. the other
Actually,
people.
yeah.
It's actually not a
That
bad
would be
idea.
amazing.
Like a rhythm-based fighting game. Loki, not a
Yeah,
bad idea.
exactly.
Anyway, as I was saying, this guy would just get more and more aggressive, and he would be like shaking, like at the end of his fights, and like he could win. He could literally three-stock somebody, like absolutely bulldoze them, and he would be like, "Let's go, man! I'm the fucking best!" Like he's popping off like he just won fucking Evo or something, and it's just like, bruh, you won a best of 3 in a fucking like in a random room at like a library or something.
In
like, calm-
fucking Iowa.
in fucking Iowa, like literally calm your tits. It's not that serious, right? This guy's
Yeah, for real.
just going absolutely sicko mode, right? It comes time that I have to fight him, right? I'm thinking I'm gonna get beat up like a mofo, and like he's gonna just talk all sorts of shit because I was like 12 years old at the time, right? And this guy was easily like 21, 22, you know. Also, I've seen this guy recently at Ultimate Tournaments.
Bro,
He has yet to beat
imagine
me.
shitting on a fucking
12-year-old.
12-year-old
But
when you're
here's
in
the
your
thing.
20s.
But here's the thing: this guy could not get around me. I literally 2-0'd him. Like it wasn't even a contest.
Ooh, okay.
I had never played that well in Smash 4 at that point. Up to that point, I was hitting like everything, you know. And I was
Hey.
playing.
He summoned the strongest power.
I was woke. And I was the type of kid that literally hooked up my 3DS to the Wii U because I didn't have the Wii U. So I just hooked up my 3DS to the Wii because that's how I played. So this guy had like a GameCube controller, like a Wii U Pro controller, and I was sitting here on my fucking 3DS, like 3DS like XL.
Was
or
it
whatever.
XL?
Yeah, it was an XL.
Hey.
Yes, sir. I was the new one. It was like the fancier one with like this extra stick.
Oh, okay.
But
I got you.
anyway.
I got you.
And this guy, literally, I've never seen anybody throw a controller so hard straight down. That shit shattered. I've never seen a controller shatter before until then. To this day, I've never seen a controller get that broken. But this guy, like, fucking throws his controller down. He's, like, screaming and cussing, and he's like, fuck this dog shit ass game. Fuck you. Fuck all this. This guy literally winds up to hit me. He literally he's, like, doing this.
Oh,
I
shit.
literally he swings. I fucking duck. I unplug my shit.
You're
I'm
fucking-
gone. I have hit feet.
You're fucking 12.
I'm literally 12 years old. This guy's like in his way. He got banned for like a year because he almost beat up a 12-year-old for beating him in the
my
game.
God.
I'm just like, you
Jesus.
literally need to calm the fuck down. It never will be that serious. No one starts a fight over fucking Smash Bros. For Wii U. Literally relax.
The only
Right.
time you ever should start a fight over video games is if it's with the boys and it's Mortal Kombat and it is past 3 a.m.
Or
That
if
is
it's
the
Tekken.
only time when
Or
it
if
is
it's
allowed.
Tekken,
Or
because
Mario
Tekken's
Kart.
better.
Or
Right.
Mario Kart.
Facts.
You can,
Or
I will
Mario
throw
Kart.
hands over Mario
Or-
Kart.
Or Mario
Or-
Party.
You never really think
We
about
just
it.
have like a list of games going down.
It's okay.
You
to
never
start
really
fights.
think about it until you play it. But probably the most devastating like game for friendships, Uno.
That's
'Cause-
true.
People have different ways of playing the game, and people don't know what, like don't remember the cards or stuff, and so they flip. You can't stack +4s. Yeah, you can. It's like
Yeah.
it become,
Yeah, I hate
you don't
the
talk to
stacking rule.
somebody for like a month after that.
Facts. You
I'm
literally
just imagining
delete
like,
people.
like Josh probably has like a list of fucking paper with like friends I've lost because of fucking Uno.
I've mixed so many people's shit.
It's like friends I've lost watching Uno.
Wait, hold up.
Fold the back page. Fold the next page.
Friends I've lost
Hold on, let me
because
get
of
my
Uno.
phone for this.
Page 1 of friends I've lost because of Uno. Oh
like-
my god.
It's like 25 pages of this is every single person who went to my 4th grade class. Like, fuck.
Bro, we went indoor recess. Uno went ham though. Like
Facts.
if you had indoor
Everybody
recess,
was playing.
If you were
exactly.
playing Uno with the homies and you were like popular, that's just facts.
Hold up, in 3rd grade actually, I made like I learned blackjack in 3rd grade, so I thought I was high as shit.
I did the
So what
same
do? I
thing.
teach everybody I teach everybody in my Michigan 3rd grade class how to fucking play, and then we bet like some like treats like snack time shit that we got on it. So like we bet like the fucking like snacks and our lunches on it. So we have a fucking like gambling ring going on in indoor
Third-
recess.
3rd grade gamble.
Miss Apple's 3rd grade class
Exactly.
or whatever, dude.
Either I would get like a shitload of food and be the most popular kid in the class, or I'd be an outcast who got all their food stolen by Mr. Popular Kid of the Day. Like, and there was
Right.
no in between. Like you would either
Right.
because you would either like get all of it or you would get none of it.
Facts.
It's
You'd be
essentially
top
like a-
shit or you'd be shit.
Yeah.
And like these are kids who like they're 3rd graders. So what's the goal to get 21? So what do? You hit on 19 to get up to 21 because that's what you do in 3rd grade.
Right.
So essentially, everyone played horrible poker. So I could kind of clean up because like I kind of knew what I was doing, but like not that much. But I would still get my shit mixed.
Right.
So,
in
yeah,
3rd grade,
3rd
using
grade
fucking
gambling.
blackjack, yeah.
And
You get
so
the one
teach-
kid who his parents are just like complete like masters at the shit, taught him at 1 years old, and he's just, oh, you want to fucking play.
Oh, you want
No,
to
it's
play
like
for my
quiet
Lunchables,
quitting class
asshole?
at the
Let's
back.
fucking go.
Brings out
I've
his
got-
own set of cards. Like, let's go.
I've got.
He, like,
I will
shuffles
give
it,
up
like,
my
he, like-
Lunchables Deluxe.
He does the shuffle thing where
sandwich
he like
edition
throws
of
them down.
Lunchables.
The card trick where he like throws them
Oh.
in one hand. I'm just like he's like throwing them across the hand. He's like throwing them in the air. He's like catching them. Like he throws them.
He can't even hold the card.
Right,
His
he's
hands are
like-
so small, he
he's
can't
like-
even hold
he
the
has
card.
To
He's like,
dual wield one card, you know.
Oh, and it's
He
got to be the
threw-
quiet kid who never talks in class, who's just secretly a
Yep.
god at blackjack.
No, like he comes
Yeah.
in. He's like on the dealer. He just deals everything. Like he just goes. And it's just perfectly
no,
arranged.
it's just a deck of cards, and he just smacks on the table. Everybody has the cards. Like,
He just goes.
This
Blink
shit was
now.
amazing for about a month until someone tried getting the teacher to play, and then the teacher shut it down because she didn't realize that there was a gambling ring going on in her fucking classroom. So yeah, we didn't like that kid for a while.
All my homies hate that kid.
fact, still don't like it.
Fun fact,
In
he's still a
fact, let me
bitch.
DM him. In 3rd grade, you did this bitch move.
Hey man, fuck you, bro. All my homies hate you now.
Swear to God.
Speaking of things with three in them, God, I'm the master at segues.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
We have passed the 1 month anniversary of Variety 3, and
We out here.
holy fuck.
Generation.
We have grown a lot in a month.
That's
Just gonna
facts.
say.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you know, there is Brady with just, or I guess this is Brady, with just insane amount of views in the podcast. But I mean, all of us have surprisingly grown fast
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah.
And to be honest,
And,
like the quality of the video
Has
too,
already
like,
gotten
If you
better.
look back at like our first video, like look at my first GeoGuessr video,
Mhm.
and then like look at my most recent one. Yeah, plugging myself. Fuck you. But like look at the quality improvement.
Yeah.
Like I'm just wow, like
Right.
And then,
I did not
went
think I would
from
come
I
this
literally shameless self plug. If you haven't seen my latest Beat Saber video, you should go watch it. Otherwise, you're dumb.
Mhm.
I figured out how to get my Quest to record at 60 frames per second, which fucking kills it, by the way, because
Hey.
it breaks, like it stops working. Like normally when you're playing a VR game, you want it to be very smooth and very fluid, right? But when you're trying to record at 60 frames per second while also trying to display at 60 frames per second, it gets very, very choppy. So like if I'm trying to do really quick things, it's like if
Right.
it's like if I was trying to play this game, how my camera is going right now, how choppy it was. It's just like I did that for y'all. I literally gave myself. I
Yeah.
literally had a migraine after that video. I'm not kidding. Like I couldn't see for a
Yeah.
while. Shit was painful. By the way, I'm never
And, like,
recording VR in 60 FPS again until I get a proper headset that isn't a Quest.
And like to be honest, like I did not expect to get like a video, and I know like this is like really small, but like 100 views
100
on the
views
first
already
episode,
is
like
insane, dude.
holy.
I mean, it's
shit.
also because
Yeah.
a lot more people. I think a lot more people like whenever you plug something, the views go crazy. And like when I plug stuff of mine,
Yeah.
the views are
That's
like
fair.
half as much as yours, because just less people that see my shit tend to click on things. But like the people that watch your stuff
Right.
are like, oh my god, yeah, let's do it. You know, because like we both
Yeah.
plug a podcast, so like you got half the people that got it from me, and the other half that got it from you, and then they were like,
Yep,
okay, this is
exactly.
probably pretty good, and then check it out. You know, so like
Right.
us constantly plugging our stuff is like what we have to do right now, and like it's kind of
Yeah,
annoying,
exactly.
not gonna lie, but like hey man, if we
Mhm.
want views, like notice how the videos that we know none of us have plugged typically don't have as much views as the ones that we do plug, because
Right.
we're not you know, I don't want to say
Yeah.
we're not good enough, but we don't have the circulation to get
We don't have a fan base yet.
right,
Yeah.
to get
And
to
also
like
like the videos that I plug are the videos that like I'm genuinely
Yeah.
proud of. Like
yeah,
the
I
videos that I
plug
plug
most
are
of
like
mine, but I'm proud of all of mine. If I don't like my video, I won't upload it. You know.
mhm.
Yeah.
Like, well, see, here's the thing. Like, if I like don't like my video, like the like first 2 or 3 GeoGuessr videos, like I didn't really plug them because I was like, hey, like the mic quality's bad, no face cam, no anything. It's just me playing the game.
Right.
And then when the 4th one came around, I had a face cam. I had like my new mic right here. Like I had like all the elements. I even put some background music in, and I was genuinely proud of the final product that I came up with. And so I was like, hey, like I want to share me at what is right now my best to everyone. And I'm sure a month from now, my best will probably be a lot better than what it was.
Oh yeah.
And that's the beauty of growing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
100%. Yeah.
And I it's not, when you look in like the major YouTubers, and when you look like your first plaque comes at like 100,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you look at that, 40 subscribers is nothing, but let alone it, no matter the number, we can't be thankful enough.
Right.
Yeah,
This is
for
for
sure.
us, but it's also we're happy to entertain. We're glad we're able to.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I mean,
It's really fun,
40
yeah.
subscribers in a month may not sound like much, but that's just the month. That's not perpetual growing. That's
Right.
not the more unlimited amount of videos that we can do.
Right. Because here's the thing
And
about that.
or a month in.
Right.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the thing about it is, like, you start with 40, that 40 then will probably continue to grow again. Like, I bet we'll probably gain
Yeah.
another 30 or 40 in the month. And then that means we'll get a consistent set of views, which means those things will get recommended to people who aren't subscribed. So, like, once you get past the initial, like, because that's the hardest part, I think, of doing, like, YouTube is
Yeah.
you start super small.
Getting
You start with nothing, like literally nothing, and like once you get that initial following, like once you pass like this is gonna take a long time, obviously, but once you pass like 500, 1,000 subscribers, then it starts to get recommended to more people, and then you'll really notice a growth, you know. So like
Yep.
those initial 40 are gonna be like our standing ground for here's what we're doing now. If we can
Exactly.
satisfy these people, we can probably satisfy these other people, and then those people will share it. So like having just 40 is actually really, really good for just starting out.
Yeah.
You know.
Here's the thing, though. I started like doing this as a hobby. I did this because I genuinely
Yeah,
enjoy
it's
making
really fun.
content,
Yeah.
and I wanted a platform to share like what I make on. And so, like, regardless of how much we do or don't grow, like, I'm gonna continue.
We're
doing
gonna
this
Yeah,
continue.
because
I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep
At
This
the
is
end
really
of the
fun.
day,
It's just
I
something to do.
have fun doing
Yeah,
this.
this is really
Yeah,
enjoyable.
exactly.
Recording these podcasts is awesome.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
if anything, this is us being able to go back. I mean, we're all still in high school. So
Yeah.
this is us being able to go back and see us now,
Yeah.
later down the line, seeing what we look like, our humor, how we acted,
And like shit,
yeah,
if
how
this
we've
does
grown.
blow up and we manage to be able to do this like for a living, which judging
Yeah.
by the state of YouTube kind of right now might not be super likely, but like yo, if we can get some like V3 merch in the future, like you never know. You know, just
Heck
saying.
And
yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to plug anything, but like I think our logo, like that Josh designed, by
It's
the
very
way,
merchable.
would go crazy on like a hoodie
Like
or
a
a
hat,
t-shirt.
like a
Oh,
And
yeah.
also,
dude, like a
speaking
hat,
of
but
Josh,
cap, literally.
facts. Also, Josh, speaking of your design, the fucking thumbnail master that you are. Like, can you
Yes.
explain to us a little bit, like your process, like how you create a thumbnail, like to such high quality, I guess? Like, cause like whenever you
Um,
send stuff to me, like
They're amazing,
I'm always
right?
blown away.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
right. So really started with before the channel, Tony and I, who's on the channel,
He will be
um,
on here at some point, by the way.
Facts.
yeah, um, he and I took a like graphic design class back at our high school, and we didn't really pay attention to a whole lot,
Fair.
but I love art, and so I kinda started like it started growing on me, and that was using Photoshop, and I don't use Photoshop right now because we're not at that point where I think I need to.
What do you use?
I just want something simple. It's this website. I'll put it
Pixlr.
Is it
down.
Canva?
Yeah, Pixlr.
Yeah.
Pixlr. Okay.
No,
Pixlr.
Pixlr.
Okay. Got
That's
it.
actually
Um,
what I used to make mine too. Like when you said, it, I was like, hey, like I should check this out.
Fair.
Right.
Anyway,
It's very simple, but it does everything you need to.
Mhm.
And the thumbnails. I mean, every one of them except the first few have the border around it, which came from my first video had the V3 logo up top, and I thought that was just really neat. It was a way to separate my video but promote the channel at the same time.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
And then I think it was Tony's video. I did the thumbnail for him,
The
and it
life
had
you're
a
doing, right?
and it had
Okay.
the border around it, but it wasn't the same color.
Yeah.
And I think it was your tier list video that had the first like
I think-
official
yeah. The
um
first border, like the border that you're
Yep.
seeing right now.
Mhm.
right.
Well, kind of.
And that was actually kinda. That was actually hand drawn. That was like I put
Hey.
the little blocks in and then had to do the curves on my own and everything until I found out I could just take it, download it as an overlay.
Yeah.
And so I mean the main things when I look at a thumbnail is what is the video? Typically a game, so something to do with the title of the game and the logo. Contrasting colors with V3 is typically orange, black, and white, but also blue.
Yeah.
Blue
also,
is a
like,
very
color
pop-out
wheel
color.
stuff,
Mhm.
right? Isn't it
Mhm.
orange, blue, like orange, purple, like colors like that, like
Yep.
But it's always
scientifically
orange.
contrast with
right?
each other?
Yeah. True.
Isn't
Right.
it? What is it? Isn't it green and red, orange and
Mhm.
blue and yellow and purple?
I think so.
Yeah.
And so I just started using that, and you can see a lot of our videos have the like blue title, or the blue contrast somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And then I got a lot of dumb ones that like people have requested me to do, like Joe's video. He asked for one of the main characters of Rainbow Six Siege to be be given a hug by an anime girl. We'll say that, and I got it done. And it's really just I'm lucky to be able to if I record a video or see a video too, I already got an idea. But it's really just what I think works at the time and something not overwhelming, but that tells the story of the video. Because you don't click on the title.
Yeah.
You click on the
You
thumbnail.
click
The
for
title, yeah.
I mean, title works.
The
but
title
thumbnail
is
better.
the name of the
Thumbnail that-
thumbnail.
I made like the GeoGuessr episode 4 thumbnail. So Josh like put me onto Pixlr. I was like, hey, like my dad's used this and like Josh is saying use it. Like I should try it myself. I couldn't find the overlay, so I literally used a thumbnail from one of Josh's previous videos. I took it, then I like black screened it with like shaped in rectangles, and then I put it on there. So like I have like the border and then it's black, and then I have an image. And so I put the image on there, and I'm thinking like, oh shit, like this is dope. Like I can put the border like above it, right? No, because I put the border as the original photo, so that means I can't move the border up and down. So I've got to crop the image so it fits into the border, and then
Yep.
crop the V3 logo so that pops there, and then the text is down below. The original file, it was purple on purple, like the thumbnail, and I was like, oh shit, like I can't like read this title. So then I had
Yeah.
to change it to white. And so yeah, like making that thumbnail and like putting the amount of effort and time that I did only like makes it more impressed by like the amount of stuff that Josh does, because like when I ask for a thumbnail like for a video that I had, he usually nails it right on the dot in
And,
like
like,
10 minutes.
within
tops.
minutes,
And It's
right.
freaking amazing.
It's kind of scary,
Yeah.
low key.
Oh,
And like the one that I made, like
Thank
I
you
sat
all.
at my computer for like a solid hour, and I was like, "Oh shit, like this is dope!" Like, and then I
Right.
realized, like, hold up, Josh could probably make 6 of these in the time it took me to make one.
Right.
I mean, and I think slowly but surely, I mean, like you said, we're starting to use the overlay, and really that's like the key thing, because
Yeah.
that makes it pop out against the rest of YouTube.
Mhm.
Um, Once I gave the overlay to every, because I'm trying to mainstream certain things like the overlay where
Yeah. I
that's
got
just
you.
normal. And so you and Tony and a few others have started making their own thumbnails from time to time, and they're on par with everything else. They look good. They match, and nothing's wrong with them. And everything. I look at it and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what I would have made, if not better.
Yeah, and Josh is
And
the inspiration behind all of that because, like, without that border, like, go back to the first GeoGuessr video I made. I thought that thumbnail was dope. Like, I like
I
took like
mean,
an image of a fucking road, put some question marks, and then put at the bottom GeoGuessr number 1. And I thought I was a
That's a good.
genius.
That's
Like,
a
I was
fine
like,
thumbnail, I think.
and then
it's a great thumbnail. It's just we hadn't really figured out our
yeah.
image, I
And
guess.
then like I see like for the tier list video, I see Josh's first like border and like actual like Photoshop, and I'm like, mine was dog shit. Like holy crap.
Um, I mean, I don't really. A lot of times when I'm bored, I'll just hop on a photo editor and I'll make random stuff for
Nice.
the channel.
Yeah. Like also
Nobody's
like
seen it,
we
but
have a
they're
backup logo.
yeah. We've got the main V3, like the classic, what you guys see all the time, and then I think we got a sharp one that's actually more of a reddish color,
Mhm.
and then we've got the Heartline
I
one,
put the
which
Heartline one on my Snap story to plug the other GeoGuessr video, by
Yeah.
the way.
right.
So
I think,
people have
honestly-
seen the Heartline, but only if you're on my Snap.
I think I've done it too. Maybe. But I
Yeah.
think honestly, if we start streaming, which I think once I get a better computer, I'm definitely going to be streaming a lot more, like at all,
Mhm.
for that matter. And simply because, like, you can use those other images as scene transitions. If we can get them to animate, like that V3 one, I mean, we kind of be stealing from Dr.
Yeah.
Lupo, kind of, because that's his kind of thing. But, like, who cares? You know,
Yeah.
Because it looks cool. Like, get the actual heartbeat going. And then, like, just the quick, like the V and the 3, like it would, like you can make those into stream transitions or the other color
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
Right.
Like if like it's a normal video, then the backdrop is orange, or like a podcast like this. But if like it's a live stream or something, then the backdrop can be red or blue or whatever. You know, it's
Yeah,
like this
exactly.
is
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like this one was a stream highlight. So like if you saw this live, you know the blue border means stream. You know, versus
Exactly.
just straight up
Yep.
video at some point.
See, and also like here's the thing that's like another thing that's really cool about like Josh's like skill like in like picture and thumbnail design is that like I've like seen like people on Fiverr, for example, they can like pay like and charge a lot of money to like set up a good stream overlay. And I'm thinking like, hey, like once we get like a Twitch account for V3, Josh will be able to make like extremely good stream overlays, probably better quality than what people pay like hundreds of dollars for. And that's like really cool. And like
and he
another
can
reason
sell
why I
that to
like
other
Josh is
people
like
too. Make good
amazing.
money.
Yeah. Josh
I'm
could easily
the-
set up a Fiverr and like do that.
I'm kind of the onboard art director for everything. If somebody
I'm-
needs something, I'm there. If
Mhm.
we have a missing thumbnail, like we had 2 or 3 missing thumbnails last week or something, and I went in one night and
I
they weren't
did 2 of
missing,
them.
but we just
We
didn't
just
have
didn't
like
have
Oh yeah,
them,
we needed them.
Because
Yeah,
there
I
were
got
2
you.
for me and 1
Um,
for you, I think. 2 of mine and 1
Yeah.
for Brady's. Yeah.
and I went in and I was like, yeah, well, I'll fix these. I'll run them by everybody and I'll see if it works. And I did, and they all thought it was great. And
Mhm.
I can't always like get to it right away, but I try to because
Yeah.
it's
you
not.
have a life outside of this. Like
Yeah.
when you get to it, you get to it. Like I'm
Right.
cool.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we're not gonna like pressure or anything. You know.
Yeah.
No. And I mean, Variety 3 has been a wild ride, and it's
It's
I
only
thought we
just
were gonna,
beginning.
Yeah.
It was just the beginning.
and I thought we were gonna have a lot of problem with kind of getting into it and we kind of did it at the start. We were like, oh well, should we upload this day? And we're like, yeah. And but once we got on track and
Yeah.
got our schedule set up,
Yeah, exactly.
we basically just went full force. I think we might have missed, certain people missed like a day or two.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think I've.
But
missed
those
it.
are
And,
four
like, you can
specific
trade
reasons.
days. Like I have like a couple things like backup recordings in case like somebody
Right.
misses a day that I can throw up
Yeah,
whenever I
yeah.
need.
I have a lot of different
Yeah.
random
Like-
stuff recorded on my computer or whatever that I can just
Like
do.
okay,
Mhm.
getting into it was like a little hard like at first because I was like okay, like I'm gonna need to do all this, and then like once I got my first video up, like I started hitting my stride, like because then you have a process. It's like hey, like this is what I need to do, and I can follow these steps in order to ensure that like I can make the best quality that I can. And so like when you experiment with something new, it's taking the old formula you have and spicing up something new and see what floats and what doesn't. But
Yep.
getting that like formula was the hardest part. Like the first week for me on this channel was by far the hardest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Um, I think I was the first person to upload like a near hour to hour long video, and
Mhm.
I didn't know what I was in for. I recorded the video, and that's fine. Getting into the game recording is fine. But
Yeah.
then once you take it back and you realize I gotta go through all this and make
make
sure
it
nothing is
shorter.
wrong,
Yeah.
and if something is wrong, I have to re-record the whole thing.
Right.
And then it's exporting, it's uploading, it's the whole 9 yards, and it's
Right.
very draining on
Exporting's
you
a
at first
bitch. It's still
until you
draining
kind
on
of
me.
get into a flow.
Like,
Yep.
I mean, like I've been editing videos for people or for myself for a very long time, so like I have a pretty vague idea of how I'm doing. I literally have been just using the software that came with my computer when I first got it,
Hey.
and it works literally perfectly. I mean, my computer's very old, so like it's pretty slow and it's sluggish and it crashes sometimes, but like whatever. There's another computer that my family has that if I really need to go for like the higher performance, I can go over there and do it, and it's fine. And it's the same software, so it's no big deal. But in trying to make like with OBS, everything is synced perfectly. Like my audio, your guys' audio. If I were to plug in a capture card, all the audio and stuff would be synced perfectly. But the thing that I have to do right now, especially for like my VR videos, is there's no microphone coming from my Quest. There's no audio coming from. There's no video. Nothing is synced whatsoever. Like not even like sometimes the Quest has like a bug where the video and the audio are not synced perfectly. So I have to detach the audio, change that. I have to mix and master everything because it doesn't sound very good, which iMovie has a little tiny bit of it. I literally just use GarageBand. I could get Logic, but that's just not worth it for me because Logic's more for like beat making and stuff versus just fixing up the audio. So I have to go in there and fix all that. I have to go into my video. Hopefully it's good. I record my face cam videos at 1080p 60 fps unless I'm using this camera, which is on my computer. I just use my phone, which in theory could go up to 4K 60. So eventually if I'm doing like vlogs and stuff, I'm definitely going to be vlogging in 4K because you want the high quality for the future, you know. And the things like vlogging, I can edit straight from my phone, which is really great to have as a feature. iPhone users, by the way, iPhone gang, we out here. Anyway, like in editing, in editing
Android.
videos for, I don't think I've edited a few of the group videos. There are a few that I still need to edit. Not gonna lie, that's my bad. Like the Scriblio video, which we recorded like 2 weeks ago, and I have just started working on it because of how freaking long that video is, and I want it to be really good.
Oh yeah.
So like I've been like I had to go in, like I went in and I mixed and mastered everything again. I didn't mix it, but I mastered it so that it sounds really, really nice and good. And I have done. I decided like an idiot on a video that's literally 3 colors to do color correction, like active color correction, which took me 7 hours to render out because of how old my computer is.
Jesus.
So I got up. I literally got up at like 11 a.m. I couldn't do anything until like 6 p.m. with my computer because it was just doing that.
Jeez.
You know, like computers now can color correct in real time. This one just can't.
Yeah. See, all right. So here's the thing with me. Like, I'm an audio guy already. Like, not like in like setup wise, even though like I've got like a decent setup now. But I'm talking like mixed and mastering stuff. Like, I use FL Studio, so like I mix and master vocals for people like probably daily to semi-daily. And so like audio stuff, like I know how to use like Audacity, like and stuff like that. Like I know how to like edit out white noise, which I just like started doing. The only reason there's some on the GeoGuessr videos because I just straight up forgot. Not even gonna lie, but like the reason like. So making like going on FL Studio and like mixing and mastering vocals, like I have a process to do that. Like I know what I'm looking for. I know what plugins I need to use to make the people sound the best. But when I opened up like editing software, that shit just like completely flew over my head. Like I thought I was gonna get something similar to like what FL was. I didn't. So like I had to like learn an entire software, and for me like it was a step out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because like FL Studio, like that shit's like
That's
that shit's
your
like
house,
good to me. Like that's my
basically.
bread and butter.
Right.
Yeah. Like making beats, like coming up with melodies and all that, like that's the stuff I'm like good at. And so when I had to open up editing, I'm like, okay, like this can't be that hard. I tried editing my first video. I literally all I did was put in intro transition, put in some background music, and made sure everything was synced. That shit was a process and a half for me.
Yeah.
And like so like when I see like all like a bunch of big YouTubers like edit their stuff and like watch like all the like cute little cuts and stuff, like I look at things like an entirely different way, like having done it myself.
Yeah.
Like I have so
I mean,
much
that's why
more
they tend to
respect
hire
for like
editors of
editors
their
in
own.
general.
Right. I mean, like I've been doing stuff for people or for myself for a long time, so I'm actually pretty good at the quick little jump cuts and the, like the little Like if they do like a little skit in a video or something, I've done that. I've had people send me like Fortnite clips and do montages for them, and like time shit to beat drops.
Oh,
There is an
speaking of montages, I got a 2K one on the way.
Oh yeah, there's an unreleased V3 video that was pre the creation of V3, that was us playing Fortnite. It was me and Brady and Joe and Tony, and it's really not safe for work. So that's why it's not on the V3 channel. It's unlisted on my like private, like my personal email. So like you guys will probably never see that video, unless we like watch it on a live stream or something, which would be fire.
Going up on OnlyFans, $200. No.
No, there's so I never really like. I mean, I edited my videos. I'd go through and cut anything that wasn't funny or wasn't good content, if it wasn't a playthrough,
Right.
and
Right,
you know, trim things down, fix basic things.
Mhm.
But it's only the past like week, I think, that I've actually gone in and like, okay, I think I'm gonna do like I've stopped doing intros to my videos. When I'm with somebody else, I'll do like a slight intro, but on my personal videos, there's no intros because there's a text intro.
Hey, nice.
That's fair. I mean, like, you could do that. I prefer the speech intros personally, just because I like having them.
Again,
like,
that's why it's called Variety 3.
true.
Yeah.
The person has their
Or you
own
could do
style of
both.
recording.
Like
thus
honestly, you
making
could
it
have
variety.
both. You know.
Yeah.
And also, speaking of variety, hey, Josh, could we get a little bit like of insight to the origin of the name, like where Variety 3 came from? Because this is something that Josh came up with, by the way.
So it was just like a normal night, and I think it was the first night playing Siege. I had just gotten Siege, and I think Brady got it. There was Brady and Tony and Joe and I. And, we were talking about doing some sort of channel, and I brought up this idea of doing a, like, miniature platform inside of YouTube. One channel with multiple people on it, and the idea was to have each of those people upload a day. That means it's easy on all of us, it works like a normal channel, and we still can produce a lot of content. I mean, if we did this like we were our own separate YouTubers, our own personal accounts, if we got to that point, we could be cranking out 2 videos a day. That would be 14 videos a week in theory if we had a full crew.
Yeah.
And that was the idea, was the maximum amount of content we could possibly make whilst being semi-easy on us, because we're still kids. We want to live a life. We got jobs to eventually get because quarantine.
To eventually get.
So, there was that, and it's weird because the name behind Variety 3 was obviously variety, being the whatever you want to make. You know, we said whether it's a news podcast, a review, it's a gaming video, whatever it may be, you can make it. There was no limitations besides following YouTube's codes, like guidelines.
Guidelines and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's where the variety part came in. And I still don't exactly know like the truth behind this, but 3 founders of the channel, like the original idea, we sat down one day and we're like, yeah, let's just make it. And I know it was Tony and I, but I do not remember for the life of me if it was, because I don't think Joe was there when we made it. I think it was Brady that was in the call with us when we made it, and he was giving us ideas and we were all working together. But Joe was the one who was originally like on board with it.
Yeah.
So in theory, I guess it should be Variety 4, but Variety 3 sounded way better.
True.
Yeah. And then I brought in Tom, like, because me and Tom have probably been personally connected like the longest like people.
That's probably
so, like,
true.
I'm like, hey, like Tom's like, yeah. So I'm like, hey, like Tom's like a good dude, and I know like he would make really amazing content. So I reached out to him and I was like, hey, like, would you want to hop on board to join this like channel and this thing we got going? Like, we know it's not that big, but like we have a vision for it, and like it's with people you kind of know already.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
like,
Joe and Tony from school, and you
right.
know Josh because like he's really cool with us, and
Right.
like you've done stuff with
Yeah.
him.
Like I know we're good now.
And
we're
so
homies.
then like
Yeah.
exactly. And then it kind of like formed into like a core 5, being
Yeah.
me, Josh, Tony, Tom, and Joe. And then we're thinking about bringing in somebody else, but like that's obviously like to be determined, like
Right.
depending on what we want
TBD,
with
yeah.
this. But remember, if we bring in another person, it's going to be because like all 5 of us are going to be really cool with them, and it's
Right.
like
Yeah.
because like we genuinely think they bring something different that we haven't, like
That
that
we
none of
haven't
us
done
have.
that, Right.
We're not just, I mean, yeah, there's a certain point where we're like, oh, you know, how neat would it be to have a person every day upload and then the group vid, and
That's it.
not have a break in between. But I mean, even Tom, when Brady was like, "Can we introduce Tom?" We're like, "Yeah," and we talked about it a little while, and then we hopped in a game together. I don't remember, and not all of us were in, but the majority of us were in.
I
I
don't know
think
if
it
you
was
were there.
And
me. I think it was.
I don't
I'm
think I
pretty
was
sure-
in.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was me and
I
Brady
know. I
and
think the
Joe
first
and
time we
Tony.
played. I'm
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that
It was
it.
Fortnite,
Yeah.
and we were like
Um,
recording stuff and
and-
stuff. And
Mhm.
that's what
Right,
that unreleased
and
video
that was the majority at the time.
right.
I think I was out doing something.
I don't think you
and
just had, I just
You,
don't think
it
you
was
had the game.
basically
Like you didn't have it installed.
it
or something.
was yeah,
it was kind of like testing him, but like not
Yeah.
testing him, like
Yeah.
just to see like how well like he like would bond
a
with people,
chemistry
like-
test,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Yeah, no,
bouncing
yeah.
off each other, creating
Mhm.
content.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it
And,
worked
um,
And
really
then
well.
like
and we
once
killed it.
like yeah, and then once Tom met Josh, like those two like they like had like instant chemistry. Like look
Yeah.
at this podcast for example, like being able to bounce like stuff off each other. Like some people can, some people can't, and they have it. And that's what I think is really cool about the five of us is that
we all
each
just
individual
work.
person has chemistry and works together with each individual
And they're also
person,
mad entertaining
which I
on
think
their
is
own,
like
too.
yeah.
Like you can
And,
do
like,
a group,
also,
and
like,
you can also have the individual.
one thing I like about this is like I don't do this because like it's a business thing, but I do it because like I'm
It's fun.
working like and collaborating with people that I genuinely like as people
Right.
and
Yeah.
people that I want to see succeed. And so if I can help them while helping myself on a level, it's good for everyone and closer bonds us as just like a friend
Facts,
group.
dude, yeah. This is
Right.
that's exactly what it is. You know.
It's a channel built by multiple. We all have to work together on
Yeah,
everything.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
The schedule, we had to make sure everything was good with everybody, and
And then
then
every video before it goes up goes by everybody,
Yeah.
like to make sure like
Right.
everyone's like cool with it going up.
Yeah.
yeah, in our group videos, we all figure out a time, we sit down, we record them. Those are typically a bit longer and take a little while to edit, but they go up,
Mhm.
and typically on a Sunday.
Yeah, because usually
Actually, we haven't talked
either
about the
me or
schedule.
Josh, yeah.
Yeah, usually okay. So the schedule we try to follow. So starting like now, the podcast day is going to be Monday. So that's going to usually feature me and Tom because like Tom Brady podcast.
Right, and then
But
the
we're going to
occasional
start
guests.
branching out like this episode right here. Well, I'd say we can have guests like,
Like almost
more
every time.
often than
Right.
not.
Not every time,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
pretty much every time. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And so Monday's podcast day. Tuesday is usually Tom's day.
Mhm.
Like where Tom puts something solo out. Wednesday is generally Josh. I'm usually Thursday. Tony's usually Friday and Joe's Saturday. And then group video day is Sunday. And then we have videos recorded, like all five of us, in case somebody like can't do a day for whatever
Yeah.
reason, that we can put up in case
Right.
like someone can't do something because they had a prior conflict or because they're just not done editing a video. And then they can either swap days or like skip their day for the week depending on the situation.
Right.
And
Yep.
that's one thing I really like about this is the fact that like
We all can
It's-
just
We're all
work
backing each
together.
other up.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a tight knit schedule, but like there is flexibility in it at the same time. Like we all have a goal. Like I try and get one video out a week, and
Mhm.
like two, usually three. I'm usually in or like featured in 3 or more videos a week.
Right. I'm
That
usually in
being
one or two.
podcast, group video, and solo.
Right.
No,
Right.
that's you too. Podcast,
yeah.
video, solo, or group solo.
Fair.
Yeah, and like group vids, like those can be like 4 out of 5. Like it's just a majority of the people.
Right.
Right.
So
Like technically,
Yeah,
this could
exactly.
be a group video, I guess. But
yeah, but this
this is a podcast,
day.
so yeah.
This is why this is uploaded on a Monday.
Facts. Facts.
And so obviously there's certain reasons that stop us all from meeting in real life and doing
Right.
group stuff.
Because
Yeah.
like
Physically
I have
and personally.
mad ideas for like IRL stuff. I know you guys
Right.
do too. I know we all do.
And once
Yeah.
society progresses, we are going to have a lot more of those real
Oh,
life
yeah.
videos.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
100%.
100%.
I have so many ideas.
Group
of,
videos,
like- Sorry, go for it. Go ahead.
you may see like weeks and weeks on end. It's group videos that have all of us together.
Yeah.
Like we might not do like a sit down at a computer group vid for a while because we have a
Yeah.
bunch of ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And
outside
they're
of
gonna be
quarantine,
bangers, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, we got
I
some,
mean,
we got some
everything-
heat on the way. Let me tell you.
Yes, sir. Like this
Yeah,
is only
I-
the beginning of
Yeah.
variety.
Mhm.
So hit that
Yeah.
subscribe button. You already know.
um,
Keep those notifications on.
but I don't know. Like personally, on my agenda, I've got Tony and I are doing a dual video like series
Yeah.
where it's going to be alternating uploads. So I'll upload episode 1, he'll upload episode 2, and you'll be seeing that in our solo days. I don't know about anybody else, but I've got plans to do like movie reviews,
Oh yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna do that with, like,
technical stuff.
sharing the obviously there's copyright and everything.
Well, there's fair use,
Yeah.
technically,
But
as long as you don't
movie-
do a lot.
Yeah.
I've got like reaction stuff coming on the way too, like stuff like
Yep.
that.
Movie reviews, and I've got movie essays that I want to do.
Fair.
I'm a big fan of movies, and
Yeah, me too.
We can tell.
yeah, I got a few art things I think in the work that I'm gonna start doing once I get a little bit of equipment.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody else has like a lot of down the line stuff that they're gonna.
I've
I
got
have-
so much music stuff that I want to do.
I have some like older classic music stuff. I've got some game reviews coming, hopefully. I have some like Q&A ideas, like just vlogs generally. I really like the VR content that I've been doing, so I'm hoping to do more with that.
Nice.
Like-
Yeah, it's
like-
really good too, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the stuff that I'm most proud of. Like that Siren Head video that I did was cooked to shreds because of how much bullshittery
Nice.
was going on behind the
Yeah.
scenes, because like my computer is dog shit. So like I had to record that video 3 times because the first time like in my game like for my, because I have 2 monitors, so I'm looking at my game monitor while OBS is running over here and my camera's right here. So like OBS is over here, so I keep looking over here to check OBS and stuff, and like it's swapped. So for me, my gameplay was looking just fine. But in OBS, there's a little thing that tells you like your CPU percentage and what frame rate OBS is recording at. And I had set it up to be recording at 1080p at 60 FPS because that's what I like the videos to be at, high quality and very nice and smooth, which obviously it's not right now, but whatever.
Yep.
Like this video is at 720p at 30 frames per second, otherwise it would lag like crazy because my computer just isn't that good. But like it's fine because it doesn't really matter because the audio still sounds fine. So I was trying to record it with a face cam at 1080p 60 while running a not that graphically intensive game because like my computer was still running it just fine because the GPU in this thing is just fine. It runs pretty much everything. Like it runs Minecraft just fine. It runs, you know, like there are certain games that I actually can record pretty well. There's a game called Celeste. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a 2D platformer that I've already beaten a fair few times, but I was planning on doing like a pretty full-fledged review / gameplay series on that, which I have tested the recording and it works really well, just fine, which is great. So that'll be coming up soon anyway. But I tried to record with Facecam. It recorded everything at 4 frames per second, including my audio with my Facecam on. So everything sounded really choppy and bad. Like it's like basically if I just spam my mute button on my mic just a bunch like that, that's what I sounded like.
Damn, yeah.
Right? So I said, fuck this.
Right.
I turned off the Facecam. I tried to record again at 1080p 60. Recorded at 8 FPS, so I still sounded like garbage. So then I turned down the settings. I switched it from 1080p 60 to 720p 30 like this, and then I could finally get the video to go out. And even then, sometimes it would dip down to like 10 or 12 FPS, but my audio would stay fine, which was real bad. I mean, right now it's fine. Like
Nice.
I'm staying in a consistent 30 FPS. 28% of my CPU is being used, so like everything's fine right now, obviously. But like, dude, that was a yikes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, boys. So with that said, we have been recording this one for an hour and a little bit time.
Like
if
2
we go
minutes.
any longer, this video might not go up because of how long it'll take to fucking upload.
Actually, I've wired
So,
it now.
with-
My internet's pretty much fine, so that's
Fair
not the
enough.
problem. But yeah, facts. Because I can literally just
So
turn it
with
around.
that said,
Yeah.
So with that said, anyone got any last words before we wrap up episode 4 with special guest
Yes.
Josh?
Okay. One more time. Thank you guys so much for the crazy response on the first couple of podcasts
Yes,
and just
for
being
sure.
around. You know, leaving the likes and leaving the subscriptions, man. It means a shit ton to all of us. It makes us feel really great that we're out here making people feel entertained. You know, if you're not having a great day, you come see one of the V3 videos. Maybe it makes you smile, makes you laugh a little bit. That's really good. That makes me feel really cool. I'm sure it makes everybody else feel really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
Again,
just-
like my motto for like creating content is like if I like make one person's day better, like
just a little
one
bit. Yeah,
person,
that's
like
a win for me.
yeah, just a little bit. Like if I provide a bit of content to where like someone will watch like this and they'll be like, hey, like this is pretty cool, like I'm feeling good. That's a win for me, even if it's just one person, because of the fact that I made somebody's day better by doing something that I
amazing.
genuinely like to do.
It's awesome.
Exactly,
It's a great
it's just
feeling.
like it's amazing. Yeah.
Facts, dude.
So with that said, everyone, make sure to drop a like, make sure to subscribe.
Share
Thank you
this
so
out,
much, Josh,
please.
for being on here for
No,
the first time. But
thank
sure
you
to have
all.
you back here in the future. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, so with all that said, everyone have a great day, stay safe, and for one last time in this episode, peace.
Peace out.